Trim levels can be confusing with names like SE, XSE, XLE. What do they mean, and how do you figure this out?
That's where we come in. I'm Deshola from Edmonds, and we're teaming up with CarMax to dig into this vocabulary and help you make sense of it. Okay, let's start at the top. Make and model. Companies like Toyota, Chevrolet, BMW, and so on are known as makes. They are the car brands that built the cars. The individual vehicle names are referred to as models. Most companies tend to use names for their cars, like Camry, Blazer, Tiguan, and so on. There are some companies that like to use a combination of letters and numbers. That's how you get things like BMW 340i, Lexus LS 500, and Ford F-150. Once you pick a model, you have to pick a trim level. Now, trims help describe what equipment and features a car comes with. So lower trims have fewer, more basic features, while higher trims have more plentiful advanced ones and several trim levels in between. Sometimes trims are named with combinations of letters like LE, EX, and LTZ. Other times they're words like Touring, Platinum, Sport, and so on. Take these two Toyota Camrys. This one is the base LE trim, and this other one is a top-tier XSE trim. A quick glance and you'll see the XSE's bigger grille, fancier headlights, and even a classier rear end treatment. Inside, it's the same story. The LE covers the basics like these cloth seats, but the XSE has a bigger screen, push-button ignition, leather seats, an upgraded audio system. You get the idea. This is an extreme example, and the differences between trims usually isn't this obvious. You know that sometimes you can't even find a trim badge on the car? Now, that's not a problem if you're shopping online because the trim is usually right next to the make and model at the top of the page. But if you're shopping on the lot and you can't find it, just check the window sticker. The make, model, and trim will all be shown right there. Luckily, companies are pretty consistent with their own trim levels. Let's take Honda, for example. An LX is usually the base trim, while EX will be an upgrade and Touring will be the top trim. So the LX will have fewer features while the Touring will be fully loaded. Now at Chevrolet, LS is your entry level and LT is higher up the ladder with Premier at the top. If you're looking at Toyotas, the trims start with the LE, then move up to the XLE and max out with Limited. There are exceptions, of course, and the big one is trucks, which often have their own unique trim level schemes. Here's a pro tip for you. The easiest way to shop is to know the features you want, learn what the trims offer, and find that happy overlap. Trim levels don't always tell you everything about a car. Drilling down even further, we come to options. Now, options are additional features that new car buyers can add on to a vehicle that aren't always attached to a certain trim. A good example is all-wheel drive versus two-wheel drive. Many SUVs offer all-wheel drive as an option on most trim levels. Lots of things like more powerful engines, upgraded stereos, and leather upholstery can all be options. This varies from make to make. For example, Honda bundles almost everything into trim levels, but Chevrolet has trim levels and options too. And some luxury brands like Porsche basically make everything an option. Individual options can make the search for your perfect used car a bit trickier if you're looking for a particular feature. So just be sure to read the description of every single car that you're interested in real carefully. Sometimes manufacturers bundle related options into a package. In fact, a lot of times it's the only way to get certain features. Now, one of the most common when it comes to trucks and SUVs is the towing package, which bundles a towing hitch and wiring for the trailer, and sometimes upgrades to help the engine and the transmission with the added load. Here's another pro tip. Don't just look at the make, model, and trim when you're shopping, all right? Always make sure that you read the vehicle's description just to double check and see what features it comes with. Now, if that includes an options package that doesn't have any more details, you might need to do an internet search just to see what the package includes. By now, you might be thinking that it's easiest to just pay for the highest trim level possible with all the options packages and just call it a day. But it's actually not that easy. Firstly, you're paying for a fully loaded car, so you might be paying extra for features that you don't use or that you might not even like. Some of those cutting-edge features on top trim levels age quickly, especially tech features. It makes those higher trim levels depreciate faster. That sounds like a bargain hunter's dream, except you could be saddled with obsolete equipment that doesn't support modern tech, like touchscreens that don't offer Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Just keep your eye on the prize. Decide on the features you need and focus on those, rather than just getting a maxed out trim level. If you're starting to get alphabet soup syndrome, remember to start with your must-have features. That way you'll find an affordable trim level that fits your needs. Happy hunting, everyone. Let us know in the comments below what other questions you have about shopping for a used car.